So we are discussing about advanced PHP and its properties and actually what it does. So today we're going to discuss about access modifier. So last few days we are discussing about advanced PHP properties, class, objects, constructor, destructor, and we are using the public here. So basically this is the access modifier, and we have different types of access modifier to control our access, or you can say to protect our methods or any variables. So how we can do this? So we have three different types of access modifier. Basically here you can see this is the public, and we have another type of access modifier that is protected and private. So the difference is when you use a property as a public or a function as a public, basically it can be accessed from everywhere. That means outside of the class. So if you declare our properties or methods as a private, so this type of property or method can be accessed only from inside the class. So from outside the class, so if you just create an object and just going to print these things or just going to call the methods, it will show the error. So that cannot be accessible. So let's try how the private is working. And here we don't need to write the destruct method. Basically we are creating these things to understand destruct in our last video. So I just removing for this now and just refresh this page. So currently we're getting the John computer and the John learning computer courses. Basically these things is coming from the details method, that is the public method, and the name and course, that is the class properties. Okay, so right now I am going to add the course as a private method. Okay, so just write private keyword here, and this property will make the private. So if we declare the course as private and call these things from outside of the class, this cannot be accessible. So just now if we're going to refresh the browser, it is showing the fatal error, cannot access private property. Okay, the $course. So basically this is the private property. So from outside the class we cannot modify or call these properties. So for better understanding, if we just revert back into the public and I just want to set these things, so here write same things, and I am resetting our property, that is stu1, that is the object name, and here I am write the course. Okay, so here I am setting the course is math, and I am just going to call this before setting the value from outside the class and after setting the value from outside the class. So if we just going to display these things, so just refresh this. So it's the John, this is the name, and the course it's coming from this section, and then I am setting the value of course is math, and then I am printing. So there's a reason the math is printing, and this is coming from the methods. So now I am going to change the course as private. So if you make it private, so just refresh this page. So cannot access private property, that is error in the line number 21. So this is the line showing error. So I just commenting out this line because I want to display private properties from outside of the class. So we can understand we cannot access the private property from outside of the class. So just check whether we can set the value from outside the class or not. So just going to refresh this page again, and it's showing error on line number 22. That means we cannot modify the record also. So we can understand we cannot access private property from outside of the class. So how we can fetch records? So here we can see the course cannot be accessed from outside the class because this is private, but the details method is public. So we can access details method, and inside the details method we are going to use this course, this is the private property, but these are accessing from inside the class. So if we call details method, we can see the output. So just remove these things and going to display the details method. So just go to the page and refresh. Yes, cool. So we can access the private property from public methods. So in this way we can restrict our data modification from outside of the class, but we can access of this variable through the methods which are in public. Now I want to change the access modifier for this method, so I am going to change it into a private, and we are calling the private method from outside the class. This time what happens? So if we're going to access private methods from outside of the class, generally it will going to show a error. So it is showing the fatal error: the private method student cannot be accessible. So in this way we can restrict our access using the access modifier. So now if you want to access the result from details, how we can access? So create another function, that is public function access private method. Okay, so I am giving this time of name. You can add your own name, and here just call this and details. So just like the properties, we can call the methods also. For properties we are calling just name, and if we want to call the methods we need to write the functions here. So here just return this, and if we call this access private method from outside the class, it can be accessible because this is not a private method. So just go to the browser and refresh this. So cool, this can be accessible from outside of the class. So very simple, you can play with this access modifier and it's very interesting. So this is all about the private access specifier. The another thing is left, that is protected. So if you want to access protected variable or protected methods, we can access from this class or you can access from the derived class. That means the class name is student. If you create another class and if you derive this student class from that class, we can access these properties or methods. Okay, so here it appear the inheritance concept, but we have not learned these things. So next day we're going to learn about inheritance concept, and then we can understand what is the purpose of protected type access modifier. Okay, so if you have any queries about this video, please comment in a below comment section, and next day we're going to learn about inheritance concept, and then we'll come back to protected type of properties and their methods. So this is going to be very interesting. So please like and subscribe this channel for upcoming video. Thanks for watching this video. Have a good day.